Never tell people how to do things. Tell them what to do and they will surprise you with their ingenuity. George S. Patton. Most people believe that conversations are about sharing information. They think that words are simple containers, neatly delivering thoughts from one person to another. This is a comforting lie, but a dangerous one. The truth is, every interaction is a negotiation, a subtle dance for control. Hidden beneath the surface of polite exchanges are agendas, strategies, and unspoken desires vying for dominance. To navigate the social landscape effectively, you must learn to see beyond the surface, to dissect the hidden motives that drive human behavior. Ignoring this reality leaves you vulnerable, a pawn in someone else's game, easily manipulated and exploited without even realizing it. We're here to teach you how to recognize these hidden agendas, to understand the subtle cues and unspoken strategies that reveal what people truly want, and ultimately, to control the narrative of your own interactions. The world is not as it seems. People rarely say exactly what they mean, and even more rarely mean exactly what they say. Learning to read between the lines, to detect the subtle inconsistencies in behavior, and to understand the driving forces behind a person's words is the key to unlocking true social power. This isn't about paranoia, it's about awareness. It's about recognizing that everyone has their own goals, their own motivations, and that these often differ drastically from what they present on the surface. Stop taking things at face value, start questioning everything, and begin to see the social world for what it truly is, a complex and often ruthless game of strategy. The alternative is to remain blissfully ignorant, a sheep among wolves, forever at the mercy of those who understand the game better than you do. Hidden agendas are born from the fundamental human drive to satisfy needs and desires, a pursuit that often clashes with the needs and desires of others. This inherent conflict fuels the creation of veiled intentions, strategies designed to circumvent obstacles and achieve desired outcomes without triggering resistance or revealing vulnerability. The psychology behind these hidden agendas is rooted in a complex interplay of self-preservation, social comparison, and the pursuit of power. Individuals learn early on that direct confrontation or overt displays of self-interest can be met with opposition, rejection, or even punishment. As a result, they develop sophisticated methods of indirect communication, using manipulation, deception, and subtle influence to achieve their goals while maintaining a facade of cooperation or benevolence. These tactics become ingrained behavioral patterns, often operating below the level of conscious awareness, making them all the more difficult to detect. The desire for social acceptance also plays a crucial role in the formation of hidden agendas. People are acutely aware of social norms and expectations, and they often tailor their behavior to conform to these standards, even if it means concealing their true intentions. This is particularly true in situations where expressing one's true desires would be considered inappropriate or socially unacceptable. The need to maintain a positive social image can lead individuals to adopt elaborate strategies of deception, presenting a carefully crafted persona that masks their underlying motives. Furthermore, the pursuit of power and status is a significant driver of hidden agendas. In hierarchical social structures, individuals are constantly vying for positions of influence and control. However, openly challenging the existing power structure can be risky, leading to retaliation or ostracization. Therefore, individuals often resort to covert tactics to undermine their rivals, gain advantages, and ascend the social ladder. These tactics can include spreading rumors, forming alliances, manipulating information, and exploiting weaknesses, all while maintaining a veneer of loyalty and cooperation. Understanding the psychology behind hidden agendas requires a deep understanding of human motivation, social dynamics, and the subtle cues that betray true intentions. It involves recognizing the fundamental conflict between individual desires and social expectations, the constant struggle for power and status, and the elaborate strategies that people employ to navigate these complex social landscapes. To truly master the art of reading hidden agendas, you must become a student of human behavior, constantly observing, analyzing, and interpreting the actions and words of those around you. This requires a shift in perspective, a willingness to question assumptions, and an unwavering commitment to uncovering the truth beneath the surface. Don't simply listen to what people say. Pay attention to what they do, how they say it, and what they are trying to conceal. The human mind is a master of self-deception, capable of rationalizing even the most self-serving behaviors. This capacity for self-deception is a critical component of the psychology of hidden agendas, as it allows individuals to conceal their true intentions not only from others but also from themselves. By convincing themselves that their actions are justified, necessary, or even altruistic, individuals can more effectively pursue their hidden agendas without experiencing the guilt or cognitive dissonance that might otherwise arise. This self-deception can take many forms, including denial, rationalization, projection, and displacement. Denial involves refusing to acknowledge the true nature or consequences of one's actions. Rationalization involves creating plausible but false justifications for one's behavior. Projection involves attributing one's own unacceptable thoughts or feelings to others. Displacement involves redirecting negative emotions from their original target to a less threatening one. These defense mechanisms allow individuals to maintain a positive self-image while simultaneously engaging in manipulative or exploitative behavior. The ability to deceive others is often directly correlated with the ability to deceive oneself. By believing their own lies, individuals can more convincingly portray a false image to the world, making it more difficult for others to detect their hidden agendas. This is why it is so important to look beyond words and focus on actions, as actions often speak louder than words and can reveal the true intentions that are being concealed behind a facade of self-deception. Understanding the role of self-deception in the psychology of hidden agendas is crucial for developing effective strategies of detection. It requires recognizing that people are not always consciously aware of their own motives, and that their words may not accurately reflect their true intentions. By paying attention to inconsistencies in behavior, discrepancies between words and actions, and the use of defense mechanisms, you can begin to peel back the layers of self-deception and uncover the hidden agendas that lie beneath. Remember, the most effective manipulators are often those who have successfully convinced themselves of their own righteousness. They are not consciously aware of their manipulative tactics, which makes them all the more convincing and difficult to detect. Your only defense is awareness, skepticism, and a willingness to question everything. The art of reading hidden agendas also requires an understanding of emotional intelligence, the ability to perceive, understand, and manage emotions in oneself and others. Emotions are powerful drivers of human behavior, and they often play a crucial role in the formation and execution of hidden agendas. Individuals may conceal their true emotions in order to manipulate others, gain an advantage, or avoid vulnerability. They may also exploit the emotions of others to achieve their own goals, using tactics such as guilt-tripping, flattery, or intimidation. By developing your emotional intelligence, you can become more attuned to the subtle emotional cues that betray hidden intentions. These cues can include microexpressions, fleeting facial expressions that reveal underlying emotions, body language, posture, and tone of voice. By learning to recognize these cues, you can gain valuable insights into the true feelings and motivations of others, even when they are attempting to conceal them. Furthermore, emotional intelligence allows you to manage your own emotions more effectively, preventing you from being manipulated or exploited by others. By remaining calm, objective, and self-aware, you can resist the emotional appeals that manipulators often use to gain control. You can also use your own emotional intelligence to build rapport and establish trust, which can make it easier to uncover hidden agendas and influence others in a positive way. The key is to be authentic and genuine, to express your emotions honestly and appropriately, and to treat others with empathy and respect. This will create an environment of trust and openness, which can make it more difficult for others to conceal their true intentions. Emotional intelligence is not about suppressing or ignoring your emotions. It's about understanding and managing them in a way that allows you to navigate social situations more effectively. It's about being aware of your own emotional biases and tendencies, and about recognizing the emotional triggers that can cloud your judgment. By developing your emotional intelligence, you can become a more astute observer of human behavior, a more effective communicator, and a more powerful negotiator. You can also protect yourself from being manipulated or exploited by others, and you can build stronger, more meaningful relationships based on trust and understanding. Don't underestimate the power of emotions in shaping human behavior, and don't ignore the subtle emotional cues that can reveal hidden agendas. Frame control is another essential aspect of understanding and detecting hidden agendas. Every interaction is a negotiation, a contest to define the reality of the situation. The person who controls the frame controls the narrative, influencing how others perceive the situation and their own roles within it. Individuals with hidden agendas often attempt to manipulate the frame to their advantage, presenting a carefully crafted version of reality that serves their own purposes. They may use tactics such as selective information sharing, spin, and misdirection to distort the truth and influence the perceptions of others. By understanding the concept of frame control, you can become more aware of these manipulative tactics and resist attempts to control your perception of reality. You can also learn to reframe situations to your own advantage, challenging the narratives that others are trying to impose and asserting your own perspective. Reframing involves changing the way a situation is perceived, either by highlighting different aspects of the situation or by offering a new interpretation. For example, if someone is trying to guilt-trip you into doing something you don't want to do, you can reframe the situation by pointing out that they are trying to manipulate you and that you have the right to say no. By reframing the situation, you shift the power dynamic and regain control of the interaction. Frame control is not about being dishonest or manipulative. It's about asserting your own perspective and refusing to be controlled by others. It's about recognizing that reality is subjective and that different people may have different interpretations of the same situation. By understanding the concept of frame control, you can become a more assertive communicator, a more effective negotiator, and a more independent thinker. You can also protect yourself from being manipulated or exploited by others, and you can build stronger, more authentic relationships based on mutual respect and understanding. Remember, the person who controls the frame controls the game. Don't let others define reality for you. Take control of the narrative and assert your own perspective. Finally, remember that reading hidden agendas is not about becoming cynical or paranoid. It's about developing a healthy skepticism, a willingness to question assumptions, and a commitment to uncovering the truth. It's about recognizing that the social world is complex and that people are not always what they seem. By developing your skills of observation, analysis, and emotional intelligence, you can become more adept at navigating the social landscape and protecting yourself from manipulation and exploitation. But it's also important to maintain a sense of empathy and compassion, to recognize that everyone has their own struggles and their own motivations. Not everyone with a hidden agenda is malicious or evil. Some people are simply trying to survive, to protect themselves, or to achieve their goals in a world that can be competitive and unforgiving. By understanding the underlying motivations behind hidden agendas, you can respond with greater wisdom and compassion, choosing to confront manipulation when necessary, but also offering understanding and support when possible. The goal is not to become a master manipulator yourself, but to become a more discerning and ethical social actor, capable of navigating the complexities of human interaction with grace, intelligence, and integrity. Strive to be honest and transparent in your own interactions, to communicate your needs and desires directly, and to treat others with respect and fairness. This will not only protect you from being manipulated, but it will also create a more positive and harmonious social environment for everyone. The ability to read hidden agendas is a powerful tool, but it should be used responsibly and ethically, with the goal of promoting understanding and cooperation, rather than division and conflict. Embrace skepticism, but don't let it consume you. Seek truth, but don't become obsessed with uncovering every hidden motive. Instead, focus on building genuine connections, fostering open communication, and creating a world where honesty and transparency are valued above all else. Let's examine a scenario. Picture this. You're at a crucial business meeting. The stakes are high. A major deal hangs in the balance. Seated around the polished conference table are several key players, each with their own objectives and motivations. The CEO, a seasoned veteran with a reputation for ruthlessness, leads the discussion. Her carefully chosen words and measured tone mask a steely determination to secure the most favorable outcome for the company, regardless of the cost. Beside her sits the CFO, a numbers man whose loyalty is primarily to the bottom line. He subtly steers the conversation towards financial considerations, downplaying potential risks and emphasizing projected profits, all while subtly undermining the arguments of those who advocate for a more cautious approach. Across from you is a representative from a rival company, outwardly cordial and agreeable, but inwardly calculating how to extract valuable information that could give them a competitive edge. He asks seemingly innocuous questions, probing for weaknesses in your company's strategy and subtly attempting to sow seeds of doubt among your colleagues. Throughout the meeting, subtle power plays unfold. The CEO uses strategic silences to control the flow of conversation, allowing certain individuals to speak at length while cutting others off mid-sentence. The CFO employs complex financial jargon to intimidate those who lack his expertise, creating an atmosphere of intellectual dominance. The rival representative uses flattery and feigned agreement to disarm his targets, lulling them into a false sense of security before subtly extracting the information he seeks. Pay close attention to the nonverbal cues. The CEO's unwavering eye contact, the CFO's tightly pursed lips, the rival representative's fleeting microexpressions. All of these provide valuable insights into their true intentions. Notice how their body language shifts depending on who is speaking and what topics are being discussed. Observe the subtle alliances and rivalries that emerge as the meeting progresses. Who consistently agrees with whom? Who avoids eye contact with whom? Who seems to be actively working against whom? The ability to read these hidden agendas is crucial for navigating the complexities of the business world. It allows you to anticipate the actions of your opponents, to protect your own interests, and to negotiate from a position of strength. But it also requires a degree of emotional intelligence and ethical awareness. It's important to recognize that everyone is playing a game, but not everyone is playing fair. Some individuals may resort to deception, manipulation, and even outright lies to achieve their goals. By understanding the tactics they employ, you can protect yourself from being exploited and ensure that you are making informed decisions based on accurate information. However, it's equally important to maintain your own integrity and to avoid resorting to the same unethical tactics as your opponents. In the long run, honesty, transparency, and fair dealing are always the best strategies for building trust and fostering strong relationships. The business world is a complex and often ruthless arena, but it is also an arena where ethical behavior and genuine human connection can thrive. By developing your ability to read hidden agendas, you can navigate this arena with greater confidence, wisdom, and integrity, achieving your goals without compromising your values. To be successful in this environment, you must become a keen observer of human behavior, a master of nonverbal communication, and a strategist capable of anticipating and responding to the moves of your opponents. But above all, you must remain true to yourself and committed to upholding the highest ethical standards. The meeting continues, each player vying for position, each agenda carefully concealed beneath a veneer of professionalism and cooperation. But beneath the surface, the game is being played, and those who can read the hidden signals are the ones who will ultimately emerge victorious. The ability to decipher these signals, to understand the unspoken motivations and desires of those around you, is the key to unlocking success in any social environment, from the boardroom to the dinner table. It's about seeing beyond the surface, recognizing the patterns, and understanding the underlying dynamics that drive human interaction. The trap lies in believing that everyone operates with the same level of awareness as you. The weak consistently fail because they assume good faith, projecting their own values and intentions onto others without verifying if those assumptions are accurate. They're caught off guard not because they lack intelligence, but because they lack the cynical edge necessary to anticipate deception. This naivety is their Achilles heel, a vulnerability that skilled manipulators exploit with ease. They see the world through rose-tinted glasses, oblivious to the shadows where hidden agendas fester. They trust too easily, believe too readily, and forgive too quickly, leaving themselves exposed to manipulation and betrayal. The weak mistake politeness for sincerity, agreement for genuine support, and promises for guarantees. They fail to recognize that words are often used to conceal intentions, that smiles can mask ulterior motives, and that flattery is frequently a prelude to exploitation. They operate on the surface level, never digging deeper to uncover the true motivations behind people's actions. They're like chess players who only see the pieces on the board, failing to anticipate their opponent's long-term strategy or recognize the subtle threats hidden within seemingly innocuous moves. Their lack of awareness makes them predictable, easy to control, and ultimately disposable. They are pawns in a game they don't even realize they're playing. The trap is further compounded by their fear of confrontation. They avoid uncomfortable conversations, suppress their suspicions, and rationalize away red flags rather than addressing them directly. They prioritize maintaining a false sense of harmony over protecting their own interests. This aversion to conflict allows manipulators to operate with impunity, knowing that their targets are unlikely to challenge them or expose their true intentions. They are masters of passive resistance, unwilling to assert themselves or defend their boundaries. They believe that being nice is more important than being honest, even when that niceness comes at their own expense. This self-sacrificing behavior makes them ideal targets for those who are skilled at exploiting empathy and guilt. The weak also tend to be overly concerned with what others think of them. They seek validation and approval from external sources, making them susceptible to manipulation through flattery and social pressure. They are easily swayed by the opinions of others, even when those opinions are not in their best interests. They prioritize fitting in over standing up for what they believe in, allowing themselves to be molded and controlled by the expectations of others. This need for external validation makes them vulnerable to social engineering, where manipulators exploit their desire for acceptance to influence their behavior. They are like puppets on a string, dancing to the tune of those who control their need for approval. Finally, the weak are often characterized by a lack of self-awareness. They fail to recognize their own weaknesses and vulnerabilities, making them blind to the ways in which they are being manipulated. They are unable to objectively assess their own behavior or understand how their actions contribute to their own exploitation. This lack of self-reflection prevents them from learning from their mistakes and adapting their strategies to avoid future manipulation. They are trapped in a cycle of victimization, constantly repeating the same patterns of behavior that lead to their downfall. They are like moths drawn to a flame, repeatedly drawn to situations and relationships that are ultimately harmful. In essence, the trap is a confluence of naivety, fear, external validation, and a lack of self-awareness. It is a pattern of behavior that makes individuals vulnerable to manipulation and exploitation. Recognizing and overcoming these weaknesses is crucial for anyone who wants to navigate the complex social landscape with confidence and success. It requires developing a critical eye, cultivating courage, prioritizing self-respect, and engaging in continuous self-reflection. Only then can you break free from the trap and become a player in the game, rather than a pawn. The ability to discern hidden agendas is not merely about detecting lies. It's about understanding the unspoken needs and desires that drive behavior. Every interaction is a transaction, a subtle exchange of resources, whether they be emotional, social, or material. The manipulator understands this implicitly and seeks to tilt the scales in their favor, often without the other party even realizing it's happening. They operate in the shadows, planting seeds of suggestion, exploiting insecurities, and subtly guiding the narrative to achieve their desired outcome. To truly master the art of reading hidden agendas, you must become a student of human nature. Observe the nuances of body language, the subtle shifts in tone, the carefully chosen words that reveal more than they conceal. Pay attention to inconsistencies between what people say and what they do. Actions always speak louder than words, and a keen observer can often detect the truth even when it's deliberately obscured. More than just observation, you must cultivate empathy, but of a cold, detached variety. Attempt to understand the other person's motivations, their fears, their ambitions. What are they trying to achieve? What are they afraid of losing? By understanding their inner landscape, you can anticipate their moves and see through their carefully constructed facades. Don't be swayed by charm or charisma. These are often the tools of the manipulator, used to disarm and distract their targets. Instead, focus on the substance of their words and actions. Look for patterns of behavior that reveal their underlying agenda. Be wary of those who are overly eager to please or who shower you with excessive praise. These tactics are often used to gain your trust and lower your defenses. Remember, genuine connection is built on authenticity and mutual respect, not on flattery and manipulation. Trust your intuition. It's a powerful tool that can alert you to subtle cues that your conscious mind may miss. If something feels off, don't dismiss it. Dig deeper, ask questions, and trust your gut feeling. The world is filled with people who are trying to take advantage of you. Don't let them. Develop your awareness, cultivate your critical thinking skills, and become a master of observation. Only then can you navigate the treacherous social landscape with confidence and control. The ultimate goal is not simply to detect hidden agendas, but to understand the game itself, to see the underlying power dynamics at play in every interaction, and to be able to manipulate those dynamics to your own advantage. Once you understand the game, you can play it on your own terms. You can anticipate your opponent's moves, counter their strategies, and ultimately emerge victorious. You become a chess master of human interaction, always several steps ahead, controlling the board with precision and